What's up, everybody? This is your boy DeeDeeJuan, and this is another episode of Average Joe Sports for Friday, October 28th. Uh, Happy Halloween. I know it's a little early, but I know we like to go out and get all gussied up, and I also like to look at Halloween as International Dress Like a Hoe Day because it's the only time of the year where you ladies can dress up as the naughty nurse or the naughty secretary or the naughty jailhouse warden, and it's okay, and no one's going to judge you because it's Halloween. It's one day a year. But that's again, something I find very, very funny and very, very ironic. But let's just get to some sports because I like to talk about sports, and that's why we're here. So it wasn't the greatest sports week for me last week. Yeah, UW got pummeled by Stanford last week in a wonderful 62-21 loss. Figured I'd go out and say that before we preview the Arizona game, which is homecoming for us. Hopefully we don't look at the game last week as a team, and sulk and wallow in our own pity. Let's just be honest. Andrew Luck is just that much better than we are, and that's okay. But yeah, so going into the Arizona UW game, again, we lost Stanford last week. Very, very tough loss, 62-21 last week. However, looking at the positives from an offensive standpoint, Keith Price did go 23 of 36 for 247 yards and one interception. So I mean, he's still throwing really, really great. He's still making the passes that are necessary to put us in position to win games. The problem this time was we did not show up at all in the third quarter, and that was an issue against Nebraska as well. We just had a non-existent third quarter, and Stanford, just like Oregon, coming up here in our last game at Husky Stadium in a few weeks, they are a second half team. We have to own that third quarter, and if we can keep it in contact in the third quarter, we might actually have a chance to beat Oregon. So hopefully, with the shellacking that we took against Stanford last week, that'll be, something we can look back on and go, let's own the second half. Let's do that. So hopefully that'll kind of, make us look a whole lot better going into that particular game. But we're playing Arizona, who had a very, very good game last week against UCLA. They beat them 48-12. Nick Foles threw 28 completions on 44 attempts for 319 yards and also one interception. UCLA is not that good this year, and I'm still surprised that Slick Rick is still there. But hey, you do what you got to do. Nick Foles is still a good quarterback, and the offense does run pretty well. Again, it just comes down to our defense, and the defense is just been of the Huskies. It's just been causing us problems. It's been causing me headaches. I mean, I wanted to say, after watching the Colorado game 2 weeks ago, that the defense is looking great, but again, it just happened to be more on the lines of Colorado just wasn't that good. So, and it showed against Stanford. So here's to hoping that we get the win this week and go Dogs in that game. Let's win homecoming, because I can't remember the last time we actually won homecoming. So if any of you guys know the answer to that, either put that in the comments box below or just, hit it up on Facebook, because I know people on Facebook watch my vlog, and that's awesome. On to more positive things, speaking of, Seattle teams in general that, actually know how to win. I'm going to talk a little bit of playoff soccer here. Playoffs? I know, more playoffs, right? Go Rangers, by the way, in the World Series. I know as a Mariners fan, I shouldn't root for the Rangers, but there's there's some Mariners on there, and if they win, it'll be yet another Mariner who wins a World Series not in a Mariners uniform. But again, another story for another time. But Seattle Sounders FC is playing Real Salt Lake in Game 1 of the MLS playoffs. Last week, Sounders won 3-1 against Chivas USA in Carson, California, which ironically also will be hosting this year's MLS Cup final. So that'll be really, really cool. Hopefully we can hopefully we can make it to the MLS Cup final. The team as a whole is really, really solid. Again, the back four still kind of gives me a heart attack because sometimes they're not on the ball, and that makes goalies really, really frustrated. It makes Casey Keller really frustrated. I mean, we all love what Casey Keller can do for the team, but he shouldn't have to always be the guy to make the dynamite save. There's 10 other players on the field. I mean, he's one guy in a goal that's, twice as wide as he is. So I mean, he's going to be a key component in winning the series. I hope that we can just get this series won and done, so we don't have to worry about it, and we can go on to the next round, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But we haven't really performed all that well in the playoffs, so it stands to reason where I am kind of worried about this segment of games. Again, let's worry about this particular round, and then we'll go on to the next round. So hopefully the Sounders can get the win. Win in game 1, then come back to Seattle, win game 2, and we're good to go. So that'll be a good thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping that this season we kind of ended the season on a high note this year, and hopefully we can take that energy and continue going on into the playoffs, and hopefully getting to the MLS Cup final. And I know a lot of people, a lot of Sounders fans, and to a degree, myself included, yeah, we won 3 U.S. Open Cup titles, and again, that's great because that's from a U.S. soccer standpoint, that's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I want to win the title of ours that really, really counts, and that is the MLS Cup. So I want to get there. I mean, in this season, to me, if we get there and we lose, I'm okay with it, but I would rather have a win just like everybody else. So go Sounders on that. I kind of want to talk a little pro football, but it was an awful pro football weekend for me. My Raiders just got torched 28-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't like that. Kyle Bowler threw 3 interceptions, and he kind of stunk up the place in Oakland, and so they brought in Carson Palmer in the second half. And I mean, I can't necessarily say Carson Palmer stunk up the place, but I mean, it's obvious that the man's got a lot of rust. And plus, we really didn't have much of a team at all to show for it. I mean, McFadden had a foot injury. We don't know what's happening with him. We had some key injuries on defense. It just, all in all, a really, really bad game. And for them, the bye week couldn't come soon enough. So we'll see what happens with the team going into next week. I'm almost certain Carson Palmer will be the starter going into the rest of the season. And honestly, right now, I'm kind of worried about our chances of making the playoffs. I still think we can make the playoffs, but losing Jason Campbell for the season, you could tell it actually hurt the team a whole lot. I mean, he was definitely a big contributor to the recent success of Oakland Raider football. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and see if we can get some more offensive spark. I think Carson Palmer will be good. We also got to figure out, we got to pick up another big receiver as well to help out Hayward Bay. And oh god, I'm drawing a blank on the other big receiver's name. But I don't want T.O. I know he's out there. T.O. is team obliterator, and he might fit in with the Raiders regime, but he's not Raider material in my personal opinion. So here's the hoping that we don't get team obliterator, because I would be very, very sad if we did. So I know he's an athlete, and I know under the Davis regime we love athletes, but I don't like people who are going to ruin the locker room. That's just me. Seattle Seahawks was the epic start of the coming up of Clipboard Jesus, or so we thought. That was just an awful game for both teams. It was one of those games where they were trying to figure out who wanted to win. Like, it just seemed to me that nobody wanted to win this game. Seattle traveled all the way down to Cleveland, Ohio, to get 3 points. Congratulations, you accomplished nothing coming out of the bye week. Marshawn Lynch got hurt. No Tavares Jackson, and it's sad for me to say because I've been on the Clipboard Jesus bandwagon all season. I want T-Jack back now. Hopefully he can get better and take the Hawks and go back under center, because I think the offense apparently now is running better with Tavares Jackson than it is with Clipboard Jesus. However, it is one game, and you can't necessarily judge a quarterback based on one game. So here's to hoping that they can turn it around this week in their next game. So yeah, on to the sports dance card. I'm going to the UW Arizona game for homecoming. I'm gonna do some fun time marching with the alumni band and varsity band. It's gonna be a really awesome time, and I'm gonna take this moment to do some shameless plug action. I do theater as well, and I know you talk about sports and you do theater, yay! But I'm actually currently doing a show with Seattle Musical Theater. We are doing the musical Hairspray. I'm in the show. I will not be wearing a dress or anything like that because my days of cross-dressing are over. For those of you guys who've seen Rocky Horror and Hair, but come out and see it. Check out the just come check it out. I will post the website information a little bit later, and yeah, it'll be fun. You don't have to go if you don't want to, but still, shameless plug time. It's a good time. So that's it for Average Joe Sports this week. Hopefully we have a better sports weekend this week, and yeah, go Dogs, go Sounders, go Rangers, and see you guys next week. Peace out.